Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. This is luchi'sdesigns. If you are new to my channel, you're welcome. Please kindly hit the subscribe button to join the family, and also like and share my video if you find my video helpful. On today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how I recreated the style on my thumbnail. Please make sure you watch till the end, and also don't skip any part so that you won't miss anything. Okay, this is the fabric I'll be using for this tutorial. I have only 2 yards here. I also have this thick gray fabric that I'll be using for the combination. I made this rough sketch for better understanding of the style. So I will start by cutting out the upper part, and I will be marking directly on my fabric. No pattern paper this time. So I'll fold my fabric into two. After folding my fabric, I'll mark my starting point. This is where I will start placing my measurement. The next thing is to determine how off I want my off shoulder to be. So I use 6 inches. From there I will mark my chest line. My chest line depth is 9 inches. My bust point is 10.5. My under bust is 14 inches. And my half length is 17. I'll add half inch for joining. I'll rule my lines out. The next thing now is to mark my nipple to nipple point. My nipple to nipple point is 4.5 inches. I'll add half inch for sewing allowance because I'm cutting directly on my fabric, and I will rule my line down. After that, I'll be marking my dart intake. For this side, I use 1.75. This is because I want my bust to come out well. On this side, I mark 0.75, making it 2.5 inches in total for my dart intake. So I will come down by half inch from my bust point, and I will curve it the way you see me doing. I'll also curve this side. After that, I'll be ruling the dart legs down, but because my tummy is big, I'll be coming out by 0.25 to slant it so that it can accommodate my big tummy. Please, if you're a slim person, do not slant the line, rule it straight down, alright? Can you see the shape of my curve line? So I will also be tightening the upper part by 1 inch on the both side. After that, I will come up by half inch from my bust point, and I will curve it. Can you see what I'm doing here? If you're from bust 39 to 48, this dart intake will work perfectly well for you. Because I'm making an off-shoulder dress, I'll be marking my strap to strap measurement. To get that, I'll be subtracting 4 inches from my actual shoulder width. My shoulder is 16 inches. If I minus 4 inches, I have 12 inches. But because my fabric is on fold, I'll be dividing the 12 inches by 2. So I have 6 inches. I'll mark my 6 inches. I'll add half inch for joining allowance, and I will replace the 2 inches I took for my dart intake. Please replace it so that you won't run shortage of fabric. After that, I will be placing quarter of my round bust here. I'll divide my round bust by 4. I'll place the measurement here, and I will add 1 inch because I'm cutting on the fabric. I'll also add 1.5 inches for sewing allowance. I will connect my armhole. Can you see what I have? So on my under bust, I will mark quarter of my round under bust. Divide your round bust by 4. Whatever you get, you mark it. I will replace what I have here. I have 2.5 inches. I mark extra 2 inches for sewing allowance. I'll do the same thing on my half length. My waist divided by 4. Add my necessary sewing allowance. The next thing I'll do now is to cut it out. Just cut it out the way you see me doing. After cutting the front part out, I will set it aside, and I will fold my fabric for the back part. I've gone ahead to mark out my zipper allowance. I used 2 inches for my zipper allowance. For the back, I place my tape on 5.5 inches to get my chest line depth. I mark 10.5 inches for bust point. and 17 inches for half length. There's no need of marking under bust. I add half inch for joining with the lower part. After ruling my lines out, from my zipper allowance line, I will mark 4.5 inches for that intake. I added half inch for sewing allowance, the same way I did on the front part, and I will rule my line down. After that, I will be marking 1 inch on both sides for my dart intake. I came down by half inch on my bust point and I connected it the way you see me doing. On the next side, I took half inch on the both sides. I will come up by half inch from the bust point and I will connect it. Can you see what I have? So I'll mark my 6 inches. For my strap to strap measurement, I'll add half inch for joining and I will replace the 1 inch I took for the dart intake. I will mark quarter of my round bust here. I'll add my necessary sewing allowance. I'll connect my armhole. On my half length, I'll also do the same thing. Divide my waist by 4. Replace the dart intake and add my sewing allowance. I added 2.5 inches for sewing allowance. On the folded edge, I will be marking 0.75 for the zipper bulge so that I won't have any folding. When I attach my zip, I will slant it this way. After that, I will cut it out, but I will be cutting it off camera and I will come back and show you the next thing to do. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut it. You notch your zipper allowance. I'll also be cutting out the lower part of camera because I assume that a lot of us here can cut skirts. If you don't know how to cut a skirt, I will leave the link on the description box. This is the skirt part, that's the lower part. I have my back part here. This is my front. I use my thick grade to cut out my front part. I also cut my lining for both for the front and back. I reduced the length of my lining by 2 inches. To get the length of my gown, what I did is that I subtracted the half length from my shoulder to 17 inches. To get my full length, I used 46 inches for the full length of the gown. I added 1.5 inches for folding. Can you see my lining? I reduced it by 2 inches. This is the only fabric I have left. For that reason, I'll be cutting the zigzag design on my pattern paper. If you have enough fabric, you can cut it on your fabric.
But I don't see any need for that. Cutting on my pattern paper will help me to manage my fabric.
So I indicated the front and back because if you check the zigzag design, it started from the left side. So on my hip line depth, I'll come up by 2 inches. Can you see? On my knee line, I will come down by 2 inches also and I will slant it. After slanting it, I will mark out the 1.5 inches I added for side sewing allowance. So I added 1.5 inches for the sewing allowance. I'll also mark it this side. After that, I'll be marking my zigzag design depending on how bold you want it to be. For me, I mark to 2 inches. You can mark 3 inches. So from that, I'll be connecting it this way. Just watch what I'm doing. From my sewing allowance, I will connect it. I will connect it like a triangle. Can you see what I'm doing? The length of the triangle is 2 inches. You can use 2.5 inches if you want. I will continue marking out my triangle shape. After marking it out, I will cut it out, but I will do it off camera and come back and show you. This is what I have when I was done cutting it. So I will fold it into 2 and on the center front I will come down by 1 inch. This is to eliminate the excess folding on the front part so that your front will lay flat. There won't be folding. So I will be placing it on my fabric now to cut exactly what I have here. I did not add any other sewing allowance. So you will pin it down. I added half inch on this side for sewing allowance. Use your pin to secure it and cut it out. I'll do it on camera and come back and show you the next thing to do. I've cut it out already. Can you see what I have here? The next thing is to show you how I cut the sleeve part. I will also show you how you can attach it. The perfect way to attach a puff sleeve on an off shoulder to get a perfect fitting. After marking out my starting point, I will come down by 5 inches for my puff. I think I will be marking 5.5 inches so that my puff will stand very well. Okay, this is where my sleeve head started. So I will come down by 15 inches for the length of the sleeve. From my sleeve head, I mark 4 inches for my cap height. That's where I inserted my round armhole. I divided my round armhole by 2. I will connect it to my sleeve head. After that, I will now extend it to my puff. I have a detailed tutorial on how to cut a sleeve. I explain in detail on how to do that. Please do check it out. On my sleeve length, I placed half of my round sleeve and I added 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. I will cut it out. I notch where my sleeve head started. That's where my pleating will stop. So I will now show you how to sew it. I cut out a long piece of fabric. The length is what I have here. I iron my hairstay on it to stabilize it. For the width of the piece of fabric, I have 5 inches here. If you have enough fabric, you can cut the one that can cover the fabric. So to sew it now, I place it right side facing the right side. I use my pin to secure it. Hold it very well so that it won't be moving around when you are stitching. Can you see? So I'll be sewing with 0.25. Can you see how I marked it? That's where I will stitch on. I'll go to my sewing machine now and follow the line and sew. I've sewn it already. Can you see? So what I will do now, I will trim this part off the way you see me doing. Just cut it out. After cutting it out, you turn it inside out. I'll turn it now. You can use your scissors to push the pointy edge out. I'll do it now and show you the next thing to do. After pushing it out, this is what you will have. Can you see what I have here? I'll use my iron now to press it down. Before that, you will insert your hemming gum on it so that it can stick together. After inserting your hemming gum, you can iron it very well. I'm done ironing it. This is how it looks like. Can you see what I have here? The next thing is to stitch it on the both side. Stitch it on the waistline to secure it, but I won't be doing that. I'll be using my hemming gum to iron on it just to save my time. After that, I'll work on the upper part. I've gone ahead to iron my hairstay on both my lining and the main fabric. I also gone ahead to cut out my padding. I have several tutorials on how to cut and sew a padding. So I'll go to my sewing machine now and sew it and come back and show you what I have. I've sewn it. I'll notch the under bust. I've sewn all my lining together. After that, I will open up the seam and iron it very well. Iron the lining too. I've turned it inside out. This is what I have. Can you see? Can you see how it came out? So the next thing now is to join the upper part with the lower part. I'll stitch it down now, and also join my lining separately. Join the back part separately. I'll come back and show you. Can you see? I've joined all my lining separately and my main fabric separately. Okay, so I'll be using my lining now to turn my fabric. This is for the front part. I'll turn it separately. I'll also turn my back separately. I also turn my neckline. If you want your neckline to be lower, you can trim it before you turn your neckline. Can you see the down part? So I will push it out from my armhole now. I'll turn it to the wrong side. This is what I have when I was done. Can you see? This is for my front part. I will iron it very well. Give it a good press. You can use your press ball, that's tailor's ham, to iron your bust parts. This is for my back part. And make sure I use my tailor's ham to iron my bust parts so that it can come out very well. Can you see what I have? I iron the down part very well. So after that, I will now attach my zip. I've done that already. Can you see what I have here? The next thing now is to shape the side. I'll place the front and back together and I'll close it. Can you see the outcome of everything? So the next thing now is to work on the sleeve. I've gone ahead to iron my soft gum stay on the main fabric. I also cut a lining for the puff sleeve. I place it right side facing the right side. I'll go to my sewing machine now and sew it this way. This is what you will have when you are done. So I will turn it to the right side now and I will iron it very well. After that, I will stitch it down to hold it together. I've used my needle and thread to pull my gathers. You can pleat it or you go to your sewing machine and use your gather stitch. Stitch it up to that 5 inches we measured for the puff. So after that, I will be closing it. Can you see how I pull my gathers? You can use your sewing machine to do that. This is what I have. I will iron it very well. After that, I will close it with my round armhole. My round armhole is 17 inches, but I added half inch so that when I fix it, it will be free on my armhole. I will also confirm my strap to strap. That is my neckline. I'll measure what I have here. I have 13 inches. That is 12 inches plus 1 inch I added for sewing allowance. Is very accurate. I also cut out a strap of fabric that I'll be using to pipe the sleeve head. The width is 2.5 inches. For the length, you use what you took off for your off shoulder. I used 6 inches for front and back off shoulder, so the strap is 12 inches in length. You may confirm what you have on your armhole. So from where I notch for my puff sleeve, I will start piping it from there to stop on the other side where I notch. So I'll place it now and sew it and come back and show you. Can you see how I place it? I place the strap facing the wrong side. I will now fold it this way and I will top stitch on it. This is what you will have when you are done. I've also closed the side. Can you see what I have here? After closing the side, the next thing is to attach it. So you stitch it down first. After that, you match it. Can you see how I match it together? You use your pin to hold it. Can you see what I'm doing here? All right. After pinning it down, you go to your sewing machine and stitch it down. I'll stitch it down and come back and show you. Can you see what I have? Very neat. You can use your bustier to seal off the rough edges on the armhole. Please subscribe to my channel. Thanks.